Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans, and welcome to Game 2 of the Summer Co-op 2023 Finals. I am Sonny Roth 11, and joining me in the booth tonight is a very good friend of ours, Classic Gamer. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great, and I am stoked for this race. New Kids on the Block won a thriller last night. If you haven't seen that, go watch it on YouTube or catch the pod. And Punishing Platypi is going to try to force a Game 3.
Indeed, this could potentially be the final game of the co-op tournament this year, but only time will tell, as, you know, I don't know who rolled this seed again. It totally wasn't me, I swear. I haven't rolled the last 3 seeds for the tournament, I swear.
Talk about some of these blurrings on the seed that you didn't roll. You know, the fighter has equipped shirts. So what? Thief has plus 20 strength, which is pretty nice. Red Mage has resist all, so he's basically a walking ribbon. White Mage has elemental plus magic, so let's, hope that nothing too nice rolled at level 8 because they won't have access to it. And the Black Mage rolled equip axes.
Yep. And as Classic Gamer mentioned with the Elemental Plus magic, that is going to be Fire 3, Lit 3, Ice 3 in the level 8 slots. So hopefully no Invis 2, no Cure 4, no Ruse maybe in level 8, even though there is a guaranteed Ruse item. Ruse still very useful for a White Mage. As for what these runners' party compositions are, I'm not 100% certain, but I would assume probably Thief Fighter, White Mage, Black Mage, if not Red Mage, Black Mage. But only time will tell.
I mean, the Thief with that plus 20 strength is very appealing, and you can see there are a couple thieves on stream right now, so the question will be, what else did they take? Yeah, I would agree. I think it would be Fighter, Thief, either Red-Black or White-Black.
Indeed, and it looks like they are off. Canaria Castle being mermaids, and we have Canaria at Canaria? Okay. Level 1, we see Bane and Saber, as well as Cure 4, Life 2. Big find there with the mermaid's floor being right here. That can be a lot of EXP, a lot of money, a lot of good armor, a lot of weapons, free ribbon even.
Alright, Luffy, you know what to do. He does not carbonate bubbles.
Yeah, unfortunately he does not. So we see quite a bit of gold so far coming in from these runners. A hold axe, katana plus 5. We already got big weapons coming in.
Yeah, boy, that thief just looks better and better now.
I mean, this is looking to be a fairly easy start. Ice Sword plus 4 going to be really good for the fighter.
Yep, or the Red Mage if they took that and didn't take a fighter.
Absolutely true. Didn't quite see what their AoE caster item is, so we'll find out here in a second. A Lit 2 hammer, so that is most definitely the Thor hammer.
Yep, and one thing about that hold axe is, that's going to be pretty good against carry, and is known is that it will have the same odds as Brack against most fiends. Which may not be great, but they can help in the pinch.
For sure. I'm not sure. Okay, that was the katana plus 5 that Luffy just got. Alright. Luffy gonna go ahead and do some spell shopping after getting all that good stuff. And Luffy does have a Red Mage, so that is a massive plus.
Also, Saber's at level 1, so the ninja will be able to learn that, even if they don't find the power bonk. That's interesting. Luffy has Fighter, Thief, Red, White.
I do like the Fighter, Thief, Red, White, because with Life 2 being where it is, in level 1, that is some massive extra safety.
Alright, Shumbabi finds Ice 2 and going on the TFC floor.
And Phoenix about to follow in Shum's footsteps as Freyteeth is crossing the bridge.
Shum finds Ice 1 and decides to do one more chest out of TFC floor.
Alright, Fryteeth heading into Matoya's cave finds Sky 1. Starting down in the room that normally would hold the Vorpal.
Yeah, or actually I believe in vanilla that's the Bane sword.
Or the Bane sword, yes. As soon as you started to correct me, I was like, no, I said the wrong one, that's Bane. Still a powerful sword regardless.
Yep, and Phoenix has found Volcano Armor. He gets a Vorpal -2, so with a Katana +5, do we really care about a Vorpal -2? And he finds the Oxial.
What is this concept of needing a Vorpal when you have that Katana?
I mean, with the Vorpal -2 or Katana +5, I don't think you really need the Vorpal. I mean, you could throw it on the Knight if you're desperate.
That is very true. Falchion +4 for Luffy, so the Thief does have something to swing. Does run into an eye, deciding to not take it right now. Something I kind of like personally. Right now is not the time to be taking fights until you know you're able to do more.
Yeah, we haven't seen much in the way of, well, the White Mage, of course, has that Elemental Plus magic, but I agree, and Luffy's found Bahamut, so you'll be able to raid the hole. It'll be funny if there's a tail up here.
Yeah, instant Bahamut, just add water. So far, Opal Bracelet +5 has been the best thing found. Looks like 15,000 EXP thus far. And there's the other Katana. Okay.
That's Bahamut luring them to come back with the tail. It's like, here, I have this great promotion weapon for you. Is that ribbon I just saw?
I think so. I think so. Also, in response to Aile's comment, yeah, you're not wrong. Looks like Shum has a pretty good encounter here with the Big Eye Gershark pack.
Yep, it's also unrunnable.
Hey, free EXP.
Yep, hard to object to that with that Lightning 2 hammer.
And Lefane over at Provoca this time around.
Yep, there is the hint giver there. Of course, they don't have the lab translate yet. There's no superstore.
Crescent Lake holding the ruby.
Yes, that means Crescent Lake could be key to get through there, or it could be absolutely useless, and they'll know that.
There was an X-Cal +4 found. So there is some balance between the Thief and the Fighter. We'll see which one these runners go with heading into the end game. I imagine we'll probably see more Fighters than Thieves used due to their HP growth. But at the same time, that +20 strength is more or less free temper casts that have been used on the ninja.
Yes, and of course, the X-Cal will be great up until Chaos, but it's not so great, or at least not as great come Chaos. Of course, enough tempers, you'll make anything work against Chaos.
That is so true. Shum running through the hairpins right now, about to find out what's in here. Just some more EXP.
Which isn't bad early.
It really isn't. Luffy about to head into the Dwarf Cave, which is chime locked!
So we finally once again see the shuffled chime lock setting come up, and that was Sky 3 there for Luffy.
That was the bottom of Sky 3. And Luffy's just sitting there for a second, pondering, and is gonna head in.
I definitely got lots of good treasure in here.
Indeed, there are 14 chests here on this floor. There could be some very good stuff coming up in just a moment. As Shum is running into the armory, going to pick up that loose Oxyale here in a second, as well as that Lit 2 bonk.
Phoenix
And a
talks
Harm
to the
2
tiny
shirt.
old king, who surely isn't Astos.
And I do believe we just saw the canal on Luffy's screen up here in Sky 3 as Fryteeth running to the 4 chests up top. Not going to get much of anything there.
It will entrance and floor shuffle or not, Sky provides.
More often than not, an entrance floor, it definitely provides.
Yeah. The great thing about entrance floor, Sky can provide in a number of different places.
Oh, this is so true. Alright. Looks like Shum is ready to continue on. Gonna head back over to Canaria. Fryteeth about to get the canal for the Punishing Platypi. And now the only question resides, where's the ship gonna be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm hoping for a really awkward place, personally.
Also, I'm wondering if Luffy has forgotten that the White Mage has Elemental Plus.
It is easy to forget. I always forget that when someone has that. And Sarda has the crystal. Maybe invited Mitoyo over and she left it by accident.
Thunder on the Sorcerers is a little gross. Exactly, Fizzle. The age-old question, where boat? That's not boat, that's crystal.
So now the question becomes, where's Mitoya?
She's over there. Just the nondescript over there.
I think that's a pretty solid answer there. Pretty sure that's where she is.
Alright, Luffy finishing up Northwest Castle. Shum's heading over to Elfland and Elfland Castle. And it looks like Luffy is going to head over to Marsh Cave, where it looks like Phoenix is already pretty close to it.
Right, Fryteeth, meanwhile, takes down 2 unrunnable fighters, so game says, your levels aren't enough, take a few more.
Ah, Temple of Fiends at Elfland Town this time.
Luffy has found ordeals. We haven't seen Warp yet, so...
Phoenix is also in ordeals. How many resets are we going to have here?
And the question I'll pose out for everyone in chat is, what pillar do you think it's going to be? I'm going to say second.
I'm going to say fourth. All right. Luffy hit the 50-50, now for the 25%er. Going first pillar. It's not first pillar. We know that.
It's usually a pretty solid bet. I think I had a 4th pillar myself the other day.
It's always fun when you have a 4th pillar, because then you're like, oh, I gotta go everywhere in here. Alright, 50-50.
I was right and tries the 2nd pillar again.
It's 4th pillar!
I think he tried the 2nd twice, actually. Or did he do 3rd and 2nd?
He did 1st into 2nd and the 3rd.
Well, it's definitely a 4th pillar. He tried the 3rd, that didn't work either. So we have the legendary 4th pillar maze as... Luffy and Phoenix are finding out.
And it looks like Shum has found Earth 4 here. Definitely running around trying to see what can be found. As Luffy unfortunately loses that thief, but definitely not something that I would call the end of the world. And with Sorcerers having Thunder, Ordeals is a bit of a scary play.
Yes, it is. Of course, remember, they're going to show up in large packs in Skyfloor and Topher, and hopefully you have some resistances by then, but...
For sure.
Even with resistance, a large group of them spamming it's going to be annoying if nothing else.
A lot of damage coming out. Oh, that's a loose key on Shumbabi's screen. And there's the chime coming from Ordeals.
Now we can get access to Dwarf Cave or whatever's in there.
We get access to Chime Locked Cave. Oh. Shum has found another fun floor here, depending upon where you start. Because this is Earth 2. And I have noticed there are a few people that end up getting Earth 2 and Lich's floor slightly confused based upon where you start, because of how similar those two floors look.
Yeah, the random staircase really adds a wrinkle.
Ooh, that's not something I wanted to see behind the chime.
And by that you mean C-split.
Yep. So, how do you feel about a split?
Now the question is, will they find Marsh split down in there?
I mean, I kind of hope so. Honestly, I'd rather see Marsh split first and then C-split. Give you that false sense of hope on the easier split and then absolutely tear it away from you on the harder split. But Matoya holds the canoe. Oh my goodness.
Yep, so Shum finding that for new kids on the block, and she doesn't really have much in the way of treasure, but that canoe is pretty big.
Eh, who needs treasure when you got a canoe? That just means you can go about and find that treasure, and Luffy, with that chime, has stumbled into the Marsh incentive floor and is going to check some of these chests.
Of course, with the canoe now, we could have the ship in a volcano location or an ice cave location or somewhere like that.
Indeed, and that is the crown coming in from Marsh Cave. You might be asking if this is randomized, and the response I'm going to give you to that is no.
Alright, Flame -1 armor isn't great. Be checking the key locks, taking advantage of it. I mean, sometimes you can find some good treasure in Marsh locked.
Indeed. Is this rando? No. We're totally playing vanilla.
Right, meanwhile, Shumbabi heading to Crescent Lake and finding Melmond.
Well, there's the answer to the question of whether or not Melman's been found. It has now.
And there's Invis too. Thankfully, that didn't land at level 8.
Yeah, indeed. Alright. Definitely running through.
Bright Teeth picking up the canoe for the punishing Platypi, so once again, this race is pretty close.
Yeah, this race definitely is close, but right now, NUKE kids have that slight edge on exploration.
And they also know that Mucks have Blizzard.
Huh. So we open up Volcano with, well, Volcano. And even the proper floor.
Yeah, it's like, who'd expected to find this here?
Into a Cardia floor that does not matter.
Actually, that one did have a few chests, but the odds of something being in there are pretty low, so it's a pretty good gamble.
Racken on the right side of C, so that chime is going to be important. And there we go, there's Lit 3 being used on the White Mage. If the White Mage survives, that's going to be the question here. Alright, Lit 3 is going to come out. Blaze Scorpion's disgusting. Looks like Ice Cave leads to Elfland. We do see Warp and Temper here at level 3. Time to check
very nice
White
to see.
Magic. Arm 2 Fade.
Fade is white locked.
Alright, Shum picking up Ice 3 Warp Temper. And it looked like it was just Fade for the White Mage, so definitely going to be able to get something online. We haven't seen the shop item yet. Heal 2 here at level 4. That will be learnable by Red Wizard on promotion. And that chime's already been located. Lock 2, Zap, Lit 3, Ice 1. Here in Black Magic level 4. Shop item being located? No.
Yep, still a few possibilities for where that could be. We haven't, of course, seen Onrak or Gaia yet. Of course, Lake, actually.
And I'm beginning to wonder if the ship might be key-locked. Back in Temple of Fiends.
That would be pretty hilarious.
Because we still have not seen the ship, nor have we seen the floater. So there is a chance that one of those could be chime-locked back there.
Shumbabi on the river system, taking out some Caribs.
Good old Caribs. My favorite. Oh, it could be key locks here in TFC as well.
And Luffy picks up that Excal +4. That's always nice to see for a knight.
Indeed it is. And Luffy is going to continue on down here. As Shum is running back to Provoca area.
Or actually, Skip, I think he might be going to Meteor or back even to Canaria, potentially.
That's a possibility. I do know with Bane in tow, it is possible to take out Kraken at these levels, albeit kind of unlikely.
Unlikely, but still quite possible. We've also seen Invis too, so... And Luffy's going to take on Astos here.
The ship is behind the crown. Bane gonna come out, be ineffective. Harm 4 comes out for 147, swing with the falchion for 51. And the fighter, 2 hits, 175, taking out Astos. That is the ship for the Nuke Kids on the block, as Phoenix is soon to be taking on Kraken. So this extra orb...
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Like I said, Shum waiting for the ship to appear, which it has now done. That's some good communication there. They got the ship. Okay, where am I? Where'd you get the ship? Heading back goes. Meanwhile, Kraken spits out some ink. And swing and a miss from the fighter. 3 hit, 3 damage from the thief. Bane ineffective. Bane ineffective again. Attack, attack. Of course, more Bane. Bane still doesn't land. 2 hits, 2 damage. And there goes one of our Bane casters. Actually gets some melee for 135. Bane still doesn't land.
Bane is not wanting to connect here. Oh, damage poison coming out.
Yeah, that's never friendly to see. Fortunately, that mage has resist all, but Bane still isn't landing, of course. I've seen 16 Bracks miss in a row on Kraken, so...
Yeah, I've seen that as well. 2 hits for 212, though, coming out, which is really nice.
Kraken takes down the thief, but we still have our Banecaster and our fighter. More ink. 15, but the fighter's all over the place with this damage.
Yeah, it's been very crit-based so far.
Bane still isn't landing, and he is out of Bane charges.
No luck on Bane whatsoever there. That's unfortunate. There is the cube obtained by Shumbabi for the Nuke Kids on the block, as Gaia was sighted. More damage poison coming out. So it looks like a lot of ink into damage poison.
Yep, and meanwhile, Phoenix is just going to wait. He's going to let Kraken take out his party. Of course, you have save a game over on in this flag set, so, you know, a wipe isn't a bad thing. You know, unless, of course, you have, like, a couple players down to gain experience, then everyone's back up. But
woo! That's a big find for the NUKE kids on the block. That is the floater coming in from the robot. And I do believe that is at Castle of Ordeals.
also got the Lock 2 casting item, so that's also very good to find. But quite like the floater, and you see the communication again, Luffy, heading straight for the Ryukon Desert. He will be in the air shortly.
Yeah, making the play straight to the Ryukon Desert is definitely what needs to be done right now. As it stands, NUKE kids with a significant exploration lead now.
Yes.
With both ship and the airship. This is very big for them.
Yes, it is. An airship is going to be ship locked, so, Punishing Platypi do have to get both in order to catch up.
Now, the only thing that's really missing right now is that loot, because it is still possible to be able to get to the rest of the fiends without needing any of the other key items. The only key item that would be appreciated for convenience sake is that tail.
So, wall at level 7. Only thing notable in on-rack.
Dwarf Cave sighted on Shumbabi's screen. We see Coral Sword +4, some money, some more money, even more money. Money!
Coral Sword would have been handy against that Kraken. It's actually a pretty decent weapon for the thief, rolling at +4.
Yeah, but I mean, with that Katana +5, I mean, how much is it really going to matter?
After promotion? Not at all.
Prior to promotion? That's a different story.
Yes.
Provoca found at Titans East.
Meanwhile, Platypi is now taking on Kraken. He's doing different strategies, but of course we have the fixed RNG on, so the battle will proceed the same if the same inputs are given. So, you want something different? Do something else. Meanwhile, Luffy's going to take on these pirates. They will be gone in a blink of the eye, especially... Did I see a NUKE cast coming out?
You did, because NUKE is level 2. Phoenix, ready to turn in the crown. Turns in the crown and is going to take out Ostos.
Yep, so that will give the Punishing Platypi their ship, and while Kraken is giving that damage poison out.
I mentioned something about the tail being a convenience item. Well, there it is on Bicky. They know exactly where Bahamut is. They have some amazing weapons and armor for promotion. I think it's time.
Oh yes, definitely time to promote. Meanwhile, Platypi takes down Kraken. Saw the adjustments there. Instead of trying the Bane strats, which weren't going to work, he tempered up that fighter and let him slice Kraken into calamari.
All right, with that tail in hand, it looks like Luffy is going to go ahead and go straight back to the Canaria Castle and lead into promotion. But first, a quick stop. It's going to get rid of the red mage and go for a black mage instead.
That is interesting, especially with the red mage having that resist all. They might have seen something he wanted to pick up that was black mage locked. It's certainly, there's some nice stuff here, but red mages can learn it.
I think there was something found that is black mage locked. And even though there is the resist all on the red mage, because of how limited the red wizard spell list technically is, it's not super helpful.
Yeah, especially, find a ribbon or two. This still doesn't quite mean as much.
Exactly. With that said, though, Shum has promoted and has moved equipment around, and those light warriors are looking pretty beefy.
Alright, meanwhile, Platypi is in Provoca, going to get the good news about NUKE in there, and We also have level 2 Ruse.
Level 2 Ruse, always nice to see. Luffy warping on out of here. And that's the floater immediately for the Punishing Platypi.
Right, so they will be in the air very shortly themselves.
That they will. Luffy, unfortunately, going to have to do a bit more shopping for magic, but I wouldn't entirely call it the end of the world, if you will.
Shun picking up Lock 2 and Lightning 3. Those are some pretty good spells.
Also, I think Luffy ended up switching due to having more charges.
Yes, that's another limitation of the Red Mage. You just don't have the spell charges. Especially at the later levels.
Exactly. Gonna go ahead and pick up Ruse on the night. I like this play.
Yes, I really like that play as well. Way if you don't find the Ruse item, you don't have to worry so much. You can Ruse up the night. Of course, limited spell charges, you can only do it so much, but every little bit helps.
Alright, I'm gonna pick up Wall on the White Wizard. Definitely a good play.
Yes, very good play. Resist, got Wall, don't need it.
Exactly. 3 ribbons and a wall cast and you're set. Finds Mirage 1 again after diving in here.
Yep, which leads right to the Q block, which leads right to a Cardia that is nowhere.
Indeed.
Well, actually, again, it has a few chests, but it's been consistent, of course. If there's that one loose or that rolled up masa or something.
And instead of warping out, Luffy just decides to reset and then come back in order to pick up these chests here, which is a play that I am personally a fan of. Just because that allows you to clear your encounter table again if you need to.
Yep,
and then go from
the
there.
Ruse Staff. That's a big find there for Luffy.
On top of that, the Royals have been found, and the King has the Saber Bonk, so this is going to make things a lot easier for the NUKE kids in general.
And the question I would have is 2,000-year-old TNT really that potent?
I mean, we can find out.
Yep. I mean, Narek just might not even care. Of course, he comes back and complains and say, well, it is 2,000 years old, what do you expect? And picking up Light 2 on the night, that's a very good move.
That is the play that needs to be made. Saber on the ninja, Bane on the Black Wizard. Everything's looking pretty good right now.
And I like what Red Mage said in chat, potent or not, some dwarf is going to give you something for it. That's true.
That is absolutely true. Alright, loot is the only thing that is missing right now for the NUKE kids, outside of course, where are the other fiends. But I don't think it's going to be long before they are located.
Yep. Bright Teeth, meanwhile, has just promoted. Phoenix is now going down to promote, so they're going to be able to make use of the really fantastic promotion equipment we've seen.
Yeah, the promo equipment has been pretty darn good this seed. Luffy running into Seagreed here at Onrak, as I like to call it, because these two chests most definitely are greed chests. There's the power of that NUKE coming into play. Unfortunately getting some low rolls there on the sea snakes, but it is what it is, right?
Yep. Now Luffy's pausing before getting a chest here. As Phoenix is promoted and is now heading out and warping out.
Probably communicating with Shum, seeing if they found a hint for the key in and of itself. Which I don't think they have, so...
According to their tracker, they do have the key.
Or the loot, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong item. Right side of the brain.
But you know, Also important for Topher, you can't get through without the loot, as I was rudely reminded the other day.
Yep. Alright, Luffy continuing to dive down. Does find the rod block. And does not have the rod, so the most that can be done on this floor is the chest can be looted out. But that's about it.
Of course, if we've seen all our loot yet, I mean, it might be pretty funny if there was a loose rod down there.
I believe we've only seen 3 loose, because it was loose key, loose crystal... No, I think we have seen all 4. Because Canal was loose, Key was loose, Oxy was loose, and I don't remember for sure if Crystal was loose or not. I think it was.
Crystal was from Sarda, that wasn't loose.
Okay, then we have not seen all the loose yet. There is one loose still in the world.
Yep. Phoenix meanwhile on Sky 4, we'll see where this leads. Probably not the Bridge of Destiny. Nope, it leads to Sky 2.
We've gone down 2 floors. What do we do?
We grab the chest here, that's what we do.
Fair. Aegis Shield +1 for the knight. The only thing it's really missing now is, you know, a little thing called a pro ring.
Some dragon armor wouldn't hurt either. Or have we seen that?
We have seen the dragon armor.
Okay.
Luffy wanted to take the chance, see if the rod was available there. Unfortunately, it was not. Yes, the knight currently is wearing the dragon armor.
Right. Neutral rune sword, which is nothing too special. Rune sword rolls up, it's a pretty solid weapon.
Indeed. Iron Shield +4, not a bad shield for the ninja. Definitely one that can have a lot of use.
Right, true.
Luffy,
there's that pro ring you said the knight still needs. On Luffy's screen.
And Luffy, you're gonna take that pro ring.
So Ninja, and we have a Wormek sighting on Phoenix's screen, and he is going to take it. I believe this didn't go so well for him yesterday, but going to try again.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. 2 temper casts coming out. A swing, 4 hits for 516. The red wizard is down, so going to be cut back on tempers. Misses the thief, a swing for 127. 3 hits with crits. I believe that was for 237. And Lock 2 is going to come out. 2 hits, 300. 3 hits for 158 with a crit. Thief is down. Lock 2 comes out.
Saw that the attacks weren't landing throughout the Lock 2s.
Indeed. Lit 3 comes out. 52 damage. 3 hits for, I believe that was 583. Swing and a miss. 2 hits for 289 against the knight. 2 for 267 coming back at Wormek. 3 for 355. That's going to be a Terminated Wormek for Phoenix. That's big for Phoenix's experience, as that gives that knight a lot of levels and a lot more power going into Tia.
Yes. Now over 500 hit points on the knight. Meanwhile, he has found Crescent Lake.
At Lefane. Ew. Gets the spinach.
Alright, so we have Popeye the Titan this evening, at least on Luffy's screen. Meanwhile, you know, Shubabi's going to roll over the speed bump here. Not even bothering with Cake if he even has it, just doing nuke, fade, attack, and the speed bump is gone.
There was a speed bump?
Briefly. If you blinked, you probably wouldn't have seen it.
Alright, more slimes for Phoenix. Of course, that X-Cal is going to make some quick work of them. And that is the first orb for NUKE Kids. Phoenix about to get the second orb for the Platypi. This is This is definitely a game right now.
Yep. Meanwhile, Loopy has found dwarves. He doesn't have adamant yet. He does have some vintage TNT that Narek will love to collect and add to his collection.
For an
He gives
herb.
an herb for it.
As Shum has made it to the Bridge of Destiny. Looks like on a different part of the encounter table. That fighter gets paralyzed and slapped.
Breaks out of it, though. Dark, too, but we don't have Enhanced Dark on. 2 hits, 182, not getting great number of hits here. Oh boy, this battle's actually a bit dicey here. Under 12, which Tia isn't doing a lot of damage, but if he gets held again, that could be a real problem.
Yeah, if he gets held again, that's...
Like that.
Yep.
My apologies to Phoenix for the commentator curse.
Punched for not very much. Again. Yeah, this Tia is spell happy, but definitely not going down very quickly for Phoenix here. Whereas Shum's fight looks like it's going much more smoothly.
Right. Meanwhile, the Elf Prince has the ribbon, and Phoenix has wiped the Tia, but save on game over on, he gets all the experience from the War Mech. So now he's going to come back and try to take on Tia with a full party.
Temper Helmet sighting on Luffy's side. Definitely a very nice find. Fade coming out for Shum, 294. Temper Hat used. And now it is time to do all the damage.
We've got Nuke, we've got Fade, we've got no more Tia.
With that, Nuke Kids are up 2 orbs to 1. And Luffy is back on the C-split, heading towards Kraken, going to try to make it 3 orbs out of the 4, and they are still in need of the loot.
They also haven't seen the rod, which Pride Thief just pulled out of Ice Cave.
Yep, rod in ice. And that looks to be in one of the Cardias, if not potentially Waterfall. But I believe it is one of the Cardias. Hold Axe, that's the second one we've seen. Shoutouts to the Light Axe.
Yep, well, I mean, ask Tia 1 how good Hold can be.
Yeah, no kidding there. Phoenix is going for round 2 against Tia, which is easy.
Pride Thief finishing up in ice, which was at the waterfall location. Alright, Tia versus Phoenix, the rematch.
And Luffy versus Kraken, round 1.
See Adjustment coming out with Lock 2 right away because, boy, they had trouble hitting Tia last time. Got more tempers, more melee. We're not gambling with Bane here.
Fast already out on the night here for Luffy. Temper's coming out. Saber's going to come out as well. Swing with the Fasted Knight. 7 hits for 974. The White Wizard is down because, you know, Kraken doing Kraken things. But 7 hits for over 1,000 damage is going to seal Kraken 1's fate.
Yep, meanwhile, Tia took a hit from Excal for over 1,000, and she is still up, at least for now. Not anymore.
Yeah, she was very much alive, and then she was no longer alive.
So that makes it 3 orbs to 2 Nuke Kids. And of course, the could be pretty important is what is behind that rod.
That is going to be the question right now.
Right, Luffy picking up that Invis 2.
I'm going to go ahead and check the armor shop here. That buckler, if the Red Wizard were still in tow, would be good for it. But unfortunately, no more Red Wizard. No need for buckler.
Right, Freyteeth making his way through the Agama floor.
Right now, Luffy and Shum both just doing some stalking on their magic, making sure everything is good to go, trying to really maximize everything that they can do.
Shum hitting Mirage 1 now. Freyteeth continues going through Agama floor, going to clear that out pretty thoroughly. Especially since I still don't think we've seen that fourth loose.
I don't think we have either. That fourth loose very well could be the loot. And if it is...
I was thinking just that.
If it is, that's disgusting.
And you know, we've seen Luffy in particular fade a few cardio locations that had a few chests. What if the loose loot was there?
It doesn't matter because Bahamut's Horde is on, so you get all of the cardia chests.
Oh, that's right,
Bahamut's.
that's right. So he faded them because you've already picked them up.
Yep.
So think of other devious places for that loose loot to be, like Toph Locked.
Exactly. And Luffy is out of on-rack. Shum going back to the TFC floor. Gonna grab that ribbon there.
Yep, ribbon and TFC North.
Luffy, on the other hand, has come to ice. Phoenix fighting Lich right now. Freyteeth at the rod block. I think the only place that really hasn't been fully explored is the Cardias, unless it is really just this rod block.
Well, they're the first ones to get there with the rod, so don't know what's after the rod block. Be funny if the loot was somewhere behind it.
There would be some irony in that.
Grogers have NUKE.
Yikes. Alright, there's the rod picked up for the NUKE kids. And looks like Freyteeth is running back in.
And Concussed Gamer in chat saying, thinking it's amazing the Randomizer can keep everything in logic, like, you know, no key behind key lock. Yes, that is pretty amazing. Shoutouts to our amazing devs who put all the work into this. And Phoenix 29 is finding some opal armor. Oh, that's +3, so he's going to grab that over the Dragon -2. The only thing the Dragon gives over the opal is fire and ice resistance, which doesn't matter if you have a ribbon.
Exactly. Well, that and more, I think slightly more absorption rating.
And actually they are equal in absorption rating.
You're right, they are. I always... For some reason, my brain always thinks the Dragon Mail is higher, but it's because it's higher absorption in other games.
It's also generally preferable because it provides 2 extra elemental resistances that the opal does not.
Exactly, and those 2 extra resistances can go a very long way without a ribbon. Here we go. We see greater than less than room here, back behind the rod block. I wonder if Shum is going back to check Toph Locked.
We still haven't seen the slab, adamant, and bottle, so any one of those could also lead to a loot.
That is a possibility. Shum is going to sit over here at Dr. Un, have him cornered.
So definitely working together here thinking there might be a slab down there in greater than less than, if there is. And there is! That is excellent coordination by new kids on the block, but then again, that's why they're in the finals.
Indeed. And
Now,
that slab has yet to come in. Fryteeth about to pick up the slab as well, as Luffy needs to traverse the rest of the way to actually get to the stairs. And it leads into Carrie's floor. Oh, wow.
So, that means Fryteeth is going to be finding it shortly. So it's going to be a race for the loot.
So we have slab translation into adamant, which probably means adamant into bottle into loot.
That's some nice fetch quest for you. It's so nice as a blizzard out of Carry 1.
We heard you wanted to do a fetch quest. This is a best of 3, first to 2 wins takes the entire thing. Right now, the NUKE kids have all 4 orbs lit. They only have 1 item left to turn in, being the bottle. And that will lead to the loot, putting them in go mode.
Of course, they still have to get their Topher too.
They absolutely do. And that is where things will get difficult.
See if Phoenix hangs out here in Gaia in anticipation of the battle being picked up. And we have Pro-Wings for sale in Gaia, and Fryteeth takes down Carry 1 for punishing Platypi.
That Cure 4 is level 8. It is unlearnable, so that is an unfortunate circumstance. There is the loot for the NUKE kids on the block. Saberbonk being picked up by Luffy. And it is time. I hope
we'll see what this Topher has, though.
This Topher, if it is anything like last night, it's going to be deceptively nice. Or deceptively mean. Because it started off with nice Fiend 2s and ended with a double NUKE Chaos.
I remember that quite well.
Almost like it was yesterday.
Yes! Almost like it was yesterday.
The loot was on the bottle turn-in, which was behind the adamant turn-in, which was behind the slab turn-in, which was at Mirage 2, behind the rod block.
Yep, meanwhile, the Platypi have their adamant now, so they're going to go pick up the bottle. We'll see if they do. What they might do is where one goes to the... Oh, Fryteeth is actually going to go to the Hint Giver in Lefane if you can ever get there. I'm going to say one go to each location, and then they can go from there.
Shum up on the top floor of the Temple of Fiends. Luffy having to fight Garland here. Gonna make it an easy fight with that Excal.
And get some unrunnable bones because why not?
Because reasons. Nukes and Faye is going to take out the Badman for Shumbabi. Gonna hit 25 and 29. Definitely looking pretty good right now.
Luffy enters Topher 5147, so it is their race to lose, but we'll see what Topher has to say. Meanwhile, Fryteeth picks up his Saberbonk.
As we all know quite well, Topher is the great equalizer, and depending upon how things go, if everything goes well in one dive, this is the end of the tournament.
But that is it. Meanwhile, Phoenix finds some blue stake. Getting all the high experience encounters this game.
Indeed. Alright. Shum has entered the back of Topher. as Phoenix picks up that bottle.
You see, did you remember where Guy is? Phoenix is going to loot the Dwarf Treasure. We have not seen the Masa yet. I was actually not looting the treasure. He actually had to turn in the TNT, so getting the ribbon from the Elf Prince could be pretty important.
Yeah, we never did see the Mosmian, did we? Shum taking some of these fights on the way down. Definitely not a bad idea, trying to get some extra levels. I mean, with save on game over, it totally makes sense to do so, in my opinion. And
I completely agree.
At the same time, this also allows for a lot more to be done. The Black Mage gonna lose the ribbon. It's gonna go over to the Fighter, where the Temper Hat is gonna go over to the Ninja. Masa is a mage that can swing.
Yeah, of course, with the Katana +4 and Excal +4. No, Katana was +5, wasn't? But anyway, those you really are not hurting for a lack of a Masa. You can definitely make do without it.
Speed Bump 2, gonna do Speed Bump 2 things and be gone. Fast coming out onto the Knight on Luffy's side. Swing for over 1,000 damage. We'll see you later, Speed Bump.
Yep. Meanwhile, Phoenix went in and picked up that Ruse Stick, and now he's going to get some spells. So, Punishing Platypi making some important preparations. They know, Topher could make all the difference, so...
But the question is, do they really have the time to be able to do this?
That is a good question. It's kind of gambling on a nasty Topher. Thinking if our opponents didn't prepare as much and Topher was nasty, this will give us the advantage. But Fryeteeth is about to enter Topher himself at 54 minute 53 second mark. And lots of carry twos on the screen.
As we see dueling carry twos from NUKE Kids, as Shum finishes out carry 2 with a hit for 1,339 damage.
Here you see that Excal with its elemental bonus, and carry 2 deletes the Black Mage. White Mage counters with Fade.
That's not a White Mage. But 9 hits for 1139 is going to take out that carry 2 for Luffy.
That's not a White Mage, but that's also not Kraken.
I mean, carry 2 will do it too.
Oh yeah, she will.
Granted, I don't think either Luffy or Shum are very worried about losing a White Mage, considering they do have life 2 on that Knight, so having that extra life 2 is massive right now.
Yes, how many times you've seen it where the Knight is the only one to get through and he has that life 2?
Alright, Luffy looking really good on levels right now, almost level 35 on the mages, as Shum is working on taking on a 6-pack of water elementals.
Yep, they are unrunnable, and Luffy, even this late, remembering that elemental plus on the White Mage, which is why he doesn't have Cure 4.
And gets level 36 on the mages. Unfortunately, 56. Runs right in.
Yep. 56 minutes, 28 seconds. Phoenix, our last runner into Topher, so we have all 4 runners Topher. This is going to be a close race. Especially, Kraken 2, doing Kraken 2 things. We have another double NUKE Chaos.
Yeah, another double NUKE Chaos would be absolutely shattering. But we already see 2 hits coming in for 537 damage from Shum's Knight. Block 2 going to come out to reduce Kraken 2's evasion. Cure 3 just to make sure that Knight can stay alive. Swing 5 hits for over 1,000 damage already. Nuclear is going to come out and do a little bit of leveling on the party, but not actually kill anybody. And we're going all out offense. Swing from the Knight. 7 hits for 1,731 is going to get rid of Kraken 2.
Yeah. That Kraken 2 is now sushi.
Yeah. Shum's Knight looked at that Kraken 2 and went, Get out of here! I don't need you here!
Yeah. Probably didn't like getting meleeed in the first round. Yeah, if he finds out that Kraken 2 has nuclear, but then again, he probably already knew. Probably got believed from Shum.
And here we go. 6 hits for 1581. Luffy also looking at Kraken going, get out of here! Looks like Fryteeth got bounced out of Topher somehow.
Yeah, or exited for some reason.
Could be the case. Good old nuclear. Zap's gonna come out from Tia 2, which is a little disgusting, but not the end of the world. Nuke's gonna come out from the Black Wizard, not dealing much damage. Lock 2 comes out. Swing 7 hits for 1188. That's a dead Tia 2 for Shumbabi. And here we go. Shum's about to approach the final fiend, Chaos. Block 2 is going to come out. 3 hits coming out onto Luffy's Knight for 112. Not doing much damage, but a 4 worm encounter is going to bar Shum's way, heading to Chaos.
One thing you see about Shum's party is that everyone has over 400 max HP, so that's really important if Chaos pulls out something like a double nuke or, nuke followed by a swirl or something like that.
Indeed, and there is Zap coming out on Luffy's side. Lit 3 is going to come out, dealing chip damage. Lock 2 going to go out again, just making everything easier to hit. Swing from the Ninja for 166 by the looks of it. 8 hits, 1245. That Tia is still standing. One more swing should do it, though. 9 hits for 1162. We see a terminated Tia 2. Both of the Nuke kids about to be facing Chaos.
Right. Meanwhile, punishing Platypi are in Topher, but they are a few floors behind. So Phoenix is actually on the water floor. This Fryteeth is coming up to speed bump too, but we haven't seen what Chaos has. I'm not even sure we've seen what Garland has.
Chaos, top middle. Lawful neutral. Opened up with a fast at that. Oh no, Chaos is actually up top. Chaos opened up with a fast on one of the Garlands.
That would be pretty much a wasted turn. Well, he's coming up on Chaos.
That is a very wasted turn. But now it's time to rely on that ninja. Because that ninja is about to do some damage.
You could see Shum move that ninja down into slot 3, as did Luffy. He's planning to go with that as the melee. Good. Chaos does not have the elemental bonuses, the X-Cal, so... And that katana's +5. It's time to use it.
It is. Alright, Roostacks have been applied. It is time to start attacking Chaos. First swing, 7 hits for 569 damage. Not quite going to be enough to really see any massive chunks of health go out on Chaos, but still a significant amount. As the next round, we're going to get even more tempers. We're going to get more heal too. We're going to get even more tempering. Question is, are the tempers going to end up taking initiative here? 11 hits for 2,194 damage!
That Chaos is not going to last long with that kind of damage.
That was 7 hits for, I believe, another 900 damage. More tempers coming out. And now it's just fight and wait. 5 hits for 87. 8 hits for 2,117. That's 1 G for the Nuke kids on the block. It's up to Luffy to make it through. More tempers coming out. Wait, wait, swing, wait. 9 hits, 1554. We have our co-op champions with an official FFR bot time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, 19 seconds. GG's to Nuke kids on the block.
All right, meanwhile, Phoenix is on Tia 2 with Fryteeth on Kraken's 2 floor. They had to seeing the race end. It's got to be a little disheartening to be that close. Meanwhile, something happened to Phoenix's knight, so he's actually down a life caster. But that ninja is doing considerable damage. Zap does not send anyone to the 4th dimension. Meanwhile, the ninja bends Tia to pieces.
Unfortunately, there is still a life caster up in that red wizard. And here before too long, Phoenix will be taking on Chaos. And here we go. Going to start off with a ruse, a saber, and 2 nukes. I'm going to get rid of those garlands as soon as possible.
Yep, especially the fasted one. I mean, he's going to be super damaging. Dangerous. He might do like 2 hits, 4 damage. And we are joined in the booth by the new kids on the block. GG and congratulations.
Thank you.
GG's, thank you.
So, I generated a nice topher this time for you guys.
Yeah, but you still put elemental magic on level 8 with Cure 4 and Heal 3.
I hate
You're
you,
welcome. Man. You're welcome.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was exactly the trash that I was hoping for.
Same.
And
yeah.
I don't mean that facetiously. Like that was it was enough of a brain wrinkle that I think Luffy and I had a really good time figuring this one out.
Yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed this quite a bit. The seed was like, we're communicating the whole way in the voice chat, talking about where to go and what to do, and it was just, things were falling together at the end. But it was a heck of a race, man. GG's to the other team too.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the amount of thinking you had to do in this seed was, oh my goodness. That loose slab leading to the loot with a 3-step trade quest in it.
It was I'm standing there and I see Channing in chat calling out. I'm like, we're talking in the voice chat. He's like, I'm almost there. I'm like, I'm in front of the doctor. I'm standing right here. I'm in front of the doctor.
I know.
I'm giving him a hard time.
I'm taking an extra fight along the way because I'm like, he's got to go there. He's picking up a shield on the way, and then he's like, no, I'm standing here.
It's funny because I did that to him at some point in this tournament where he was like, get me the item. I'm like, well, I'm just taking a fight. He's like, no, just get me the item. So it felt good to put it back on him.
Yeah. Well, Phoenix is taking down Chaos. Get your G's out in chat, and Fry Teeth is on Chaos. And you actually answered my question that I was going to ask about. How about that loot?
Yeah, it was very fortunate though, because the way that our tracker works, I could see all the floors that we had left to do, and so it was obvious that was going to be a loose on level 7 of Gaia, so we didn't have to check boxes along the way. Like, I got to skip out on the spider floor and Earth 1 and stuff, and so I think that really helped us accelerate a little bit more towards the end.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty clutch hint giver, telling us that it was 7 floors deep there, and we knew it was behind that rod, and it was just trying to dig that out, and it was just, one thing after another, and I was going to keep going, and then she was just like, no, I got it. Go do your other thing. I'll do the rod, and it was just kind of worked out in the end.
It definitely did.
Right. Meanwhile, Fry Teeth is punishing Chaos with that Excal. Chaos is not going to last much longer. Indeed, get your GGs out in chat, as Fry Teeth has finished as well. The GGs for our second runner-up in the co-op tournament, punishing Platypi. Hopefully they'll join us in chat here in a minute.
And their time with FFR bot was 1 hour, 6 minutes, 46 seconds. So still a pretty close race overall. You guys had the exploration lead, though, for pretty much the entirety of the seed.
Yeah,
That was a plan going into this. I think after yesterday's commentary on how much they had a lead on it, I have an essay written to Luffy in our private messages from earlier today where I was like, we need to skip everything and just see things.
It was definitely eye-opening scene. Like, we thought we were doing all right, and we had the early promotion last night, and that was something. But we definitely were behind last night, and so she made it a point to let me know this morning we weren't doing that again, and I was on board.
Oh yeah, and with that, we are joined by the Punishing Platypi, our runners-up in the co-op tournament. Phoenix, Fryteeth, GG's to both of you.
Thanks.
Congrats to the NUKE kids.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank
Well
you.
played.
That was a great race, great set of races.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you. GG's.
Fryteeth, did I make up for last night with this one?
What do you mean?
I mean, last night, Topher was kind of brutal at the very end with the double nuke chaos. And this time around, chaos was an absolute kitten.
Yeah, you made this one too easy.
So, how about that loot?
Of course, the NUKE Grogers didn't exactly help.
Oh, I was wondering if you guys saw them.
Yeah, Fry was the unfortunate one that had to go down there, and he wiped out of there because of them.
I caught them coming out of Dwarf Cave, after I had done something. I got so lucky, and then it was panic mode whenever I saw them again.
Yeah, they got me on Earth 3, which I guess was, the floor before the slab.
So, you guys were kind of locked on this seed because you got Canoe fairly early on, but it took a while to actually get that crown that led into the ship. When you were starting to run out of checks in order to get the ship, how worried were you guys getting? And this is a question for all of you in general.
Yeah, that late ship was. I was worried right from the start when how late it was, because there were a couple of other ways you could have gone, and I assumed they probably got it well before we did.
No, we definitely had a very late ship ourselves. It was just we had to figure that since we had the canal and the canoe, that the ship was going to be more likely than the floater, just based on how the loose populates. So knowing that and knowing what we had checked, it just felt kind of like, oh, they're probably, pun not intended, in the same boat. Like, we're gonna wind up relatively close here. So then it just became about, like, where are we gonna go on the outer sea to make up for it?
The getting to it, once we kind of figured out the steps going from here to here to here, and I was traversing. I think that's when I saw the Grogers. I knew it was going to be there, and he knew it was going to be there, so we were just trying to get there and not panic. But it definitely felt a little bit on the late side. Phoenix and Fryteeth are two really good runners, and you didn't want to feel behind. Like last night, what didn't feel great, it ended okay, but just didn't feel great in the beginning. So really wanted to make a point to focus on that today and try to just stay calm.
So, actually, I'm going to go ahead and rewind even farther back in the seed. We're going to go straight to the opening of this seed with that mermaid floor and basically having everything you would want in the early game. That Katana +5 coming through in the end for both of you, Shum and Luffy. Phoenix and Fryteeth, you guys decided to stick with the Excal +4 through and through, which also served everybody extremely well in this seed.
Yeah, my original plan was just to, once I saw the Katana, was just kill off the Knight, and then I saw the Excal +4, and my Thief kept dying, so the Knight ended up at a higher level, so that's why I just rolled with that one. But having 2 ribbons, plus a Resist All character, an Excal, and a Katana, I think about 10 minutes in, was nice.
I was actually a little worried about having the ribbons, because wiping out of these dungeons to save is such an integral part of this that, like, it just becomes more menuing, and then if you have it on the red mage, you just can't, like, do anything about that.
That is absolutely fair, and even though that red mage did have resist all, I did see a play of switching out the red mage for the black mage, and I gotta ask Luffy, is that because of the growth of charges on the black mage versus the red mage?
We were talking about you not wanting to take the red mage. We haven't taken one all tournament. We've gone with the standard Thief Fighter white black the entire time, but the resist all like seemed really positive, and then like Phoenix said that ribbon about 30 seconds in, and I'm like, oh. Well, we were thinking about re-rolling. Did we just do it right now and just pivot to the black mage right now that we found a free ribbon? But once we knew the black mage was inside Canaria right there, we just figured we would just go through and switch whenever we had a general idea about magic. So it was always part of the plan to pivot off of it, and it worked out okay.
Yeah, and on top of that, give it to the last game to actually see Canaria in Canaria.
Yeah, it was a fun little twist.
Yeah.
Especially seeing that level 1 life 2 that was night learnable and definitely had its uses. But with that, I'm out of questions. Classic Gamer, you got anything else you want to add in?
Well, you've actually pretty much covered the questions I had. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. You covered them pretty well.
Alrighty then. Well, with that, I'd say let's move on to final thoughts. We'll start with our champions, with the NUKE kids. Luffy, we'll go with you first.
First of all, again, I can't say enough. Thank you to our opponents tonight for really giving us a great race. Thank you to Classic Gamer and Sony for the comms, and Socket for the tracking, and Lord Fizzlebeef for the restream. I know I pained you quite a bit taking the white mage the entire time in the tournament, but my partner and I decided that. It's not how I was taught, but I figured I'd keep with it. But thank you guys for everything tonight. Thank you to the committee for putting together a great tournament. It was really nice to be partnered back up with Shum again this year. We were together 2 years ago and we did really well. It was, we weren't able to make it happen last year, and Chanigan and I played together and we made it to the finals, but we couldn't quite punch through. So Shum and I kind of felt like we really had something to prove this time around, knowing we were going to partner back up. And much love to Chanigan. We'll see you in Fall League. Love you, brother. And Pickles too. I think I saw you in chat. So we really just wanted to make a statement that we are a good team, and we were going to come out and try to prove that. And I think we did. I look forward to co-op every year, and I can't wait to have it again. And thank you to my partner again for being a great partner. Love you, brother. And we'll see what happens in a couple months in fall. And
much in the same vein, thank you to all of the Restream team, Fizzlebeef for actually doing the restreaming, Classic Gamer, Sony for the comps, and Saka for the tracking. And huge shout out to our opponents for the finals. This was, I love tournament FFR because it pushes me, and watching these back, I mean, I hope they're good shows for everyone, because I feel like both teams always put on quite a good match here. And like Luffy was saying, I really missed co-op last year. I'm so glad to have been able to do it again. So thank you to the planning committee for getting this together, giving us considerably quicker flags than they have been in the past. And I look very forward to what this holds in the future, because co-op, I think, is definitely a form of the game that should get more exposure, and I hope more people get into it, because just having been randomly messaged by Luffy 2 years ago, and then joining together and doing all of this, and then expanding that to our Fall League team, and it's just been an absolute blast playing with everyone, and really getting to know my teammates on a personal level. So again, thank you to FFR and the committee for putting this together. Thank you to our opponents, and thank you to everyone for watching.
Shum, with you saying that as well at the end, I think it goes far more than just your teammates on a personal level, because even your opponents, I know you do get to know from time to time on a personal level, as I've been one of your opponents in the past, and we have gotten to know each other quite a bit throughout our races too, because we'll even sit and talk at the end of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the whole experience of getting more than just one-on-ones, getting a whole bunch of people together in the rooms, pre-race, post-race, it's just, this is a great time. So again, thank you.
anytime. And dude, big thanks to you too. And with that, I'll throw it over to Phoenix and Fryteeth. The Punishing Platypi are runners up. Whichever one of you wants to go first, take it away.
I'll go first. First, thanks for Fry for stepping in. Fry wasn't my original partner, but he was willing to come in on a moment's notice and got thrown into the actual fire here. So super appreciate that. You're the best for that. Thanks for our opponents and congrats. I knew going up against you guys was we were going to have to play a perfect race to even keep it close. GG's, you guys are an amazing team. All the restreamers, all the crews, all the way through, you guys are awesome for volunteering your time. Hopefully we put on a good show for everybody.
Fryteeth, yeah. All yours, my friend.
I'll echo a lot of that. Thanks to the Restream team and the organizing committee. Fun flag set for this. The co-op event is one of my favorites. So big thanks to Phoenix for thinking of me when he needed a partner. Definitely tough to jump in right into the finals, but gave it a shot, and congrats to our opponents because they're a terrific team, and knew it was going to be a tough one starting off with them.
And a tough one it most definitely was. Classic Gamer, you got any final thoughts before we close out this tournament?
Well, I'd like to give thanks to definitely all the racers, both teams, because they put on some great races as we've seen throughout the tournament. And of course, thanks to my co-com Sandy Rath, our restreamer Lord Fizzlebeath, and our tracker Soccer, keeping us honest. This has been a great tournament. I have enjoyed seeing this, and I'm looking forward to more co-ops, and we've got more tournaments coming up in the future. So stay tuned.
All right. So with that, we do have some other events coming up. We do have signups live for Speed Gaming Live online. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. I do know that Saracen has made a duckling seed for practice on those flags, and they're very good flags, very, very much akin to the winter tournament flags that we had earlier on this year. On top of that, there is another tournament that we are getting ready to give signups for. That would be the Link's Awakening DX Randomizer and Final Fantasy Randomizer Archipelago tournament that Luffy and I have been ironing out flags for with the FFR side, and we do have our final flags for that ready to go. So more than likely there will be an announcement for that either next week or the following week. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. But this isn't the last tournament that we have. As Luffy mentioned, we have Fall League coming up after Speed Gaming Live Online, and that is always a real fun time. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you happen to enjoy this, come join the Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord. We are more than happy to teach you how to play. The Duckling program is where a lot of us have come from, and it's been something that's been around since really I started with the randomizer back in 2018. And next thing you know, it could be your race that we're doing commentary for. If you happen to catch this on YouTube, definitely be sure to stop by, because we would love to have you. Unless there is anything else I'm missing, I think we're ready to take it on home. So, with that, on behalf of our runners, the New Kids on the Block, our new champions, Luffy DV and Shubabi, their opponents, the Punishing Platypi, Phoenix 29 and Fryteeth, our restreamer, Lord Fizzlebeath, our Racker Socket, my co-commentator, Classic Gamer 76. Always a fun time with you in the booth, my friend. Love it every single time. I'm Sonny Wrath 11. Thank you all for watching the end of this co-op tournament. We'll see you for the next weeklies, the next tournament, and the rest of the events that we have here. With that, keep the power of those orbs alive. Have a good night. And to pull Luffy's outro, FFR fam, we gone.